What is up, guys? Marlon Morelias here, and for today's video I'm going to talk to you guys about the 3 books that changed my mindset and pretty much changed my entire life. So number 1, a lot of people or a lot of investor or not even investor knows this famous book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's right, this book right here. So story about this book is when I was buying my first rental property, I didn't know anything about real estate, and I didn't know what was the mortgage was, what is a asset and liability, So when I was trying to close that deal, a buddy of mine told me, bro, you should start reading this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I put it up for like 2 weeks, but it was still in the back of my head, and I was thinking, I'm like, man, that title is so intriguing, Rich Dad and Poor Dad. So when I was going, like I said, when I was going through the process of closing that deal, I was like, you know what, I should start reading that book. So I bought that book on my phone. I don't have a hard copy, but I bought it on my Apple Book, and I just started reading it while I was at work, while I was doing nothing. So pretty much, I was just reading and feeding my mind, and it really gave me the courage to actually close my first deal, because I'm like, man, this is the right way, I'm on the right track. And if I have 15 of the rental property, I can be financially free. I can retire from my job. So Rich Dad Poor Dad, I would suggest for anybody who is just starting out and wanting to learn about asset liability and starting to invest in real estate. I would highly suggest read that book. There's a lot of information in that book. So yeah, read that book. Number 2, I don't know if you guys see it, Never Split the Difference. This book is all about negotiating. So I read this book when I was already in real estate. I already had my coach, and in real estate, or I guess in anything in life, everything comes down to negotiation. Whatever you can negotiate, you'll get. So if you don't know how to negotiate, you basically won't get what you want, right? So this book helped me tremendously in my negotiation skills, from mirroring, from labeling, from throwing out numbers that are odd numbers. I didn't know that before. So I highly suggest if you're in real estate, make sure to read this book. If you're an investor, make sure to read this book. This is the number 1 best-selling book when it comes to negotiation. And last but not the least is this book, Self-Made, from the myth, the legend, Stefan Aarnio. So Self-Made is one of those motivational book, because he told his story in that book, what happened to him, how he got started. And when I found out about Stefan is when he actually passed away. The day that he passed away, that's when I found out about him. I found him through a friend of mine from his Instagram story, because he put in RIP Stefan Aarnio, thanks for putting Winnipeg on the map. And I got so intrigued, and I was like, who is this guy putting Winnipeg on the map? And I've known the buddy that posted that story back in high school. So I click on his bio, and all of his achievement was all in there in his Instagram. And when I found out that he was from Winnipeg, where I live, I started doing my research about him, and right away I bought his Money People Deal and Self-Made book. Actually, those two, I would put him on my top 3 book. So, I'm biased about Stephen because he's a great dude, even though I didn't meet him. But anyways, so when I bought that book, I sat on a couch on a Sunday morning around 9 a.m. and I devoured that book from one sitting. I had my earpiece on with the audiobook, and then I had the hard copy on my hand, and I just sat on the couch for 4 hours and I did not move from the couch. I read that book and I got so inspired, and then I was like, man, if Stephen can do it, I can do it too. So that's when I started looking about his coaching program, and I finally did it. Probably after a couple of weeks, I bought his coaching program, and we are here now because of him, because of his program, Blackcard University. So I can't thank him enough because, if it wasn't for his program, I wouldn't be where I am today. Also with my coach that helped me, throughout, from the beginning, right? And the people that I met throughout this journey. Thank you guys. But just to get back on the book, that book is, really, really inspiring because he had so many challenges. He was going bankrupt. His contractor did not perform well, and it's just, when I read that book, I realized that I need a coach to really jump in that water, because when I did my first deal, it wasn't as pretty as I liked, or it didn't work out as I want to. And when I read this book, we had a similar kind of struggle in the beginning. So that's when I decided to join his coaching program, and hey, it finally worked out. So I highly suggest read Self-Made by Stephen Aarnio and read his other book, Money People Deal. And he'll actually have 2 more books. I'm not here to plug his books, but he has a 10 Commandments of Negotiation, and he has a book for selling. So if you want to, grab those books, make sure to DM me. And if you guys find some value in this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.